That should, in theory, be already dead. We see this guy over here while we finish the scuttle. Nunu hits it on us. It's too perfect. You die, and you run at Jacques, and you say, no fisting for you. Alright, let's have a look. Ghost, Smite, Celerity, Water Walking Conqueror, as is the way. Got here a Nunu Gamer. That's always gonna be fun. Okay. So, what do you like? Oh, right. Full clearing. Smiting, autoing, dragging. Good. Bottom lane leashing. Okay. Standard stuff. Okay, so in this particular moment, we could anticipate potentially Nunu cheesing lane, so this is the kind of shit you want to look for. I don't think he's going to go top lane. I don't know how this is going to work just yet. This is going to be something that's really, really interesting to keep an eye on in terms of effectiveness. I don't know if people are going to play it well or play badly. This ping is really, really good if you wanted to slide into the side lane here. Bot lane doing bot lane things, Nami doing Nami things. As an Udyr, you should be happy about this one. You're the one with the trolling mindset, everything can work as long as you believe. That's from a generation who gets participation certificates. Shut up, wasn't me. Didn't play the Udyr Jungle. Aha! So once we see this right here, this is not something you can necessarily react to at all, because you know you've got an immobile mid lane mage with another immobile mid lane mage until he hits level 6. We know that this sucker starts here, doesn't show. So is he planning on cutting up here? Is he planning on doing the quadrant, doing a full clear? That which is normally expected in gold is not always what will be realized, right? So we have to play what's going to happen. You're doing your red buff as you should be doing, okay? We're not looking to move in here because this ward tells us everything. We do have the scanner, so what we could have, I don't want to say should have because it's not, I would never compromise my sequencing for this. The fact that we know it's warded is good. You can move on up, scan it later when we're going for the scuttle, because that's nice, right? You do this, we scan, we kill, boom, boom. Maybe he doesn't even notice and he's killable, right? Kill threat. This here is always going to happen, right? Thanks for following Colononom. There you go. Posture check. I'm up. My chair is here. He's gonna show up here. This is the long way, little blue circle route that we talked about in the Hecarim Challenger jungle video. Guy does this into the mid lane gank, but the benefit is that that lane was pushed up, so he had a much more liberal gank into the top side with, you know, he can protect his red side, and that's why this clear currently is super good if you're playing anything ganky. Red, Raptors, Krugs. Hit the bot lane. It's really, really good, even if champions start here, because the fact that this is 20% reduced damage versus your own jungle camps, are they really going to invest that amount of time floating into the vertical? And do you want to float into the vertical when, you know, we can just kill bot lane 1,000 times? So if you're a ganker like the Nunu, this is fine, but it's the same kind of principle as the red side, right? Which you would do on your Rex size and Lee Sins and things like Nidleys even. Coming up Friday, Nidleys as well, right? Cut down. So we see here the Nunu does this. We press tab, we press F keys, we have a look, we say, right, 12 CS, blue buff, no red. Dude's going to the top side. That is pretty much guaranteed, which gives you an absolute freebie. A little slow in the clear, we can optimize that, but typical stuff, right? League of Graphs, Master, Challenger, Grandmaster, Udyrs, One Tricks, Malice. You download a replay, you record the replay, you put the replay side by side with a replay of what you did in your practice tool, and you count the orders, you count the spacing, you count the spells. All right? What about Nidalee on Friday? There is a video with Nidalee coming on Friday. Maybe, I hope. Friday or Saturday. I don't like promising days. Friday or Saturday. So this is fine. With scanning, we know the Nunu in theory should go topside. The Lux shows up here. She's going to ward it. This is nice. We're going to keep that spacing. Hopefully we're paying attention to summoner spells as we go in, but obviously in this particular situation, Lux is something I don't enjoy. Wait, hold up. I'm getting screwed by this. Okay, she has flash. So we stun. You position this way to stick to her as she flashes. Once she flashes here, this is where you kind of have to go, okay, look, micro assessment. Can I 2v2 win this? If I chase, can I 2v2 win this? Now, the critical thing we're looking at, quickly, right? Like, driving. You're looking left, you're looking right, you're looking in the rearview mirror. Where's the wave? If this wave right here is here, I'm okay chasing a little bit more. Depending on the 2v2 assessment. She is level 2, he's level 2, I understand that, but so's Kai'Sa. That W is not a good W. The problem is the wave, if you look here, is right in front of the tower, which means their wave is also going to be right in front of the tower. So you know that this wave is about to smack you in the face. So if you get rooted in a 2v2 fight, right, the damage that you're going to be getting from the Lux and the Twitch is going to be also from the minion wave. So this particular moment, once you burn the flash, I think that we call that thumbs up super good. The thing is, right, your Nami isn't in lane yet. We kind of want that 3v2. So here, this is fine. You do get rooted, but I do think that's because you try to continue on the fight. Provided you know that where the minion wave is and you calculate we can win this fight, I am all for people doing this kind of stuff. But the problem is, of course, it's a Twitch, it's a Lux, we get the Triumph, and now we can sprint away. You know, that's fine, but I don't want results-based it. I'm going to talk about in the moment. I'm afraid as a melee player versus Twitch Lux of getting rooted and taking all the damage. Maybe that's me because I'm playing Volibear. Maybe I'm biased because I'm playing Volibear. But it's a good gank. Your Kai'Sa follows through nicely. You are able to get the kill. Unfortunately, Twitch is going to be camouflage. We do see him. We know the Nunu's top side, so that's not something we need to worry about, which is the reason why that plays risk is a little bit better than if he was, say, sequencing down. If he's sequencing down, it's a griefing play. But weigh the 2v2, weigh the minion wave, check mark it in your head very, very quickly. What happens if I get stunned? What's the best case? What's the worst case scenario? Running at a rise in a cannon wave when they know you're down there is not one of those situations that I'd call a good play, but I mean, okay. All right. That's good. That's good. Good job, mid laners. What did I just watch? Equal of music, thank you for that spicy prem. Okay. All right, hold on. Let's deconstruct this a little bit slower. We've taken this Scuttle Crab. We're farming jungle. We got away with a little bit of a cheeky gank on the bottom lane. We did slightly overcommit, but we trusted our ADC to do the business, and we were able to get out. Now, either you're a savant and know your champion entirely, and you get everything perfectly. Doesn't matter. We got it. We're in the river. We're taking this. We know that in about 20 seconds or so, we're going to have a Grump spawning. 25 seconds, right? We're going to have a Grump spawning up here. Plus the Nunu, who've ganked mid lane 12 CS with blue buff, is going to be going to the top side. So we know we're free in this particular regard. The problem for me is they know you're in this particular space, right? And the Rise moves down here. This ward we saw from earlier, right? We know that's still up. So we know that we see him. Hey, Ecolift, yeah, I'm glad that it helped. Yeah, you see, Ecolift, I love your comment, but it's also like the comment most at the moment. Don't play League much anymore. Man, we gotta solve that somehow. Right? We gotta solve that somehow. Get more people to play. So we know that this is warded. You're running at the guy here. I don't think there's any need for this at all, to be honest with you. Because you know he's up here. I don't think we need to run at him here. And he's half HP. The wave's not exactly hyper gankable. I mean, maybe you could look to go around this side here and wait for the wave to crash, but as far as I'm concerned, this is a reset moment, right? This is a reset moment. Everything that happens here we force. Everything that happens here is forced by our play onto the Rise. Into a cannon wave. We could have reset. Yeah, we get a kill back onto the Nunu, which is fine. That's just jungle and jungle crime. You both 1-1-1. What we could have been doing already is on our way to this, and if he is still here pushing up, running out of mana, you can always look to blue, wolf camp, cut in. Especially in gold when these laners stay out too long. Now remember, 5 minutes is when we have the level 6 wave, if they don't base, right? 5 minutes to 5 minutes 30 is when they're going to hit that level 6, depending on roams, back timers, deaths, randomness. Sometimes it might even be closer to 6 in certain elos, but that's the timer we're looking at. So if he stays with the Annie, perma-fisting each other, and we know that the Nunu should have taken this, but we can go and have a look. You can hit the plant, have a look, outside in rule. Can I gank this first? Is this gankable, you know, or should I just carry on sequencing? So that's a decision, right? Gank, crab, warded, no ways I'm getting in there. Back to base, spend my cash monies, top side, outside in rule. Crab up, yes or no? Up, all right. I snack. Good for us against the Nunu. Gankable? Gankable? Probably don't really want to drive by the gank, to be honest with you, but I think it's not bad practice. You know, ideally, I would like to crab, romp, wolves, and sequence all the way down again. Gank bot lane again and try use the fact that we burnt the flash on the Lux and we have that advantage. I would like that. But you got to look for these opportunistic ganks. You know, Udyr W before he went to Nunu and had awoken, he could have at least mitigated the damage and killed him. Yes, yes, but that's a classic example of why are we in that situation? You know what I mean? I don't care mechanically how we play, because if you play it mechanically well and they mess up and you get it, that's great. You know, it's wonderful. But why are we in that situation? How do we maximize our pathing in the moment? Like if we're in the moment here, that's good. Full clear, crab, and a gank with a successful kill plus flash burned. All right, out. Next sequence: quadrant, crab, potential gank here pre-6, right? 5-minute wave for top lane, same thing. And that's the kind of stuff I want to think about, because in gold, the spam ganking of the Nunu is not going to be hyper effective. Like he blue camps, blue sides, ganks, pisses off to the top lane, comes mid lane and dies. You know? I'm glad he gets a kill and an assist, but he didn't deserve it, did he? So that's just the kind of stuff I think about in terms of maintaining as a farming jungler to get a huge level lead over the enemy jungler. That's what I like to look for. So here now we know the Nunu. Okay, we don't need to place this because we know the Nunu died mid lane. He's also going to leave base. Now here's the question. Where is the Nunu going to go out of base? Two options. Topside scuttle, outside in rule, or to this. And potentially to this if he's tracking sums of Kitty, DD, and Querzin with the Nami player, right? Who's thankfully going airy. I would like to look for this. I see this as well. This and the crab and this looks more juicy to me than my Gromp at this particular moment. 455, again, deaths and base timings affect that timer, but at the very least you know we're coming up on the moment where 6 is going to be a thing. And as you all know, Hanky Boy at 6, right? Out to win versus Jax. The new Jax, I'm gonna plead ignorance until I have a bit more data and watch it and study it a bit more. I don't know what builds people are gonna be going. That AP ratio Nash's Tooth possibility is something intriguing to me. Someone mentioned it was gonna be interesting, but I don't know if they're actually gonna do it. But the fact of the matter is, it doesn't really matter too much. That's all magic damage as it is. This is all magic damage as it is. This is all magic health damage as it is. I mean, that's a lot of magic damage from a champion that supposedly wants to do a lot of auto attacking. So, yeah, interesting. It's going to be interesting to watch. But whole point is, outside in rule, do you want to give him a potential free crab? Free anything. Any betters? Where is the Nunu? You think this gold-obsessed Nunu went for the top scuttle, like a good jungler, or went to the Gromp, tier 2? I'm going to find out. Of course, right? So you imagine if you use the outside in rule immediately as you're faster than this sucker to take that scuttle, right? Boom, you've wasted his entire time. He gets absolutely nothing for it. And what we're tracking is, we see 12, right? He goes up, and because he ganked pre-330, he's not going to go crab, he's going to go raptors into the red, into the Krugs, and then into the scuttle. But because we forced the mid lane gank, he comes back down with red and 20 CS. So what happens is, it's pretty easy for us to go, all right, well, 20 CS tab, I died, I forced out, whatever, at least I got something back. Mechanically, maybe I could have lived, as was stated by Frothing Cook, but you know, that you look at it in VAR review. You're not going to remember that in the moment always if you are still learning champions, but mechanically in replays, it's good to do that in your own replays. Slow down, what could I have done mechanically with my champion? Obviously, it's not something I focus on, but important. So here, I mean, look, we just snacked this sucker. Take it away. Cool. He's going to hit this onto us. That's should, in theory, be already dead. We see this guy over here while we finish the scuttle. Nunu hits it on us. It's too perfect. You die, and you run at Jacques, and you say, no fisting for you. And then you say, ooh, damn. Well, you know, if you were to push this, you might have an unhappy top laner. If you are interested in not caring about your top laner's feelings and being a selfish little prick, you could try. But ideally, depends on where you end up with the Jax. You know what? If you're a good tank jungler, you'll know this. You'll gank a cleanup kill here, and your bombies will just burn the wave while you do it. You know? If you see what I'm getting at a little bit, I'm being cheeky. But I think it's important to maximize your experience. Regardless, outside in rule, top scuttle, see the kill, clean up the kill. Nunu shows up. You kill him 1v1 as well because you can. Fall back down, boom, boom. Cut this. Is this gankable? If not, buff another sequence, buff another sequence. Level 6, gank bottom lane. Then Nunu's going to reset to here, run into his jungle, punch him in the face, and then go ahead and take the dragon. Right? So that's what I'm seeing overall. Now, if we did not die in the mid lane... Oops, excuse me. If we did not die in the mid lane, this mic is too close for my animated hands. You know, that outside rule works out even better for us because I think we'd go for it directly and we'd hit it and, you know, maybe he's taken it, maybe he hasn't. Maybe he's even helped on the gank here, but the timing, I'm not sure how it would work. That's results-based, but you could be still in the vicinity to make a similar play. But given we are in this situation, that's nice cleanup. I think we missed it. We give him a free scuttle. Look at this. We still could have gone. You know, I can feel like this guy dies, goes top lane. He's going to take level 1 Krugs. Worst case scenario, you know, he ganks this with the Jax anyway, and you're already like here in your sequence. As soon as you see this, I'm in his jungle. Boom, tier 2, boom, tier 2, boom, gank. Right? In terms of sequencing, that's the kind of stuff I'd look to do. If you're following me with the sequencing. So we base here, buff, everyone fists top lane, we miss it, whatever. Oh, he has 28 now. Numbers of jungling, full clip plus crab, but it's 5 minutes 20, that means his grump is up, plus his wolves are gonna be up, so ideally, but I'm not sure you're gonna get both. You probably have to go for grump, 5 minutes on the plant, hit the plant over, kill the Twitch. Good, right? Like so many possibilities just in the first 5 minutes for getting yourself fed, right? Yeah, I like that. I think that's missed opportunities if you're an Udyr player, Fiddlesticks player, farming jungler, Shyvana. You know, if you can full clear Scuttle plus get one damn gank, and you make the right base, the enemy junglers in gold, platinum, they're not gonna make the right decisions. Like, they're not gonna do that. So you can easily get huge leads over them. And now, of course, another one hit, right? The overcommit 1 HP mid laners must die. I'm glad you burned us ult at the very least, but you know, we could have J-cut. I call it a J-cut, right? Because it's like an inverse J. Like if you were to go to Krugs, Raptors mid lane, it's a J. Here it's the same thing, Mr. J. You go around reverse J-cut. It's where you don't want to kind of Grump Wolf Camp slide in here. You more want to Grump Wolf cut around the long side here and do this. Now, obviously you have Scanner, but it isn't warded. So his overcommittal with no flash, I mean, with a better angle of approach, less sustained from the rise, inherently, he's much lower HP. I hope we could get that kill right, but we just missed it. We just missed it. So that's two big low HP laners missed because of not using F keys. See, I don't need your POV to, I'm not saying this constructively, but I don't need your POV to know you're not looking at this, or to know you're not looking at this. If you did look at this, then you were just being a little bit like, I want Raptors more, but, you know. So that's a huge, huge lead you could have here. Now we're cutting in to do this. We see the Lux in the river, which would make me slightly concerned that they've placed a cheeky ward in the meantime. Nunu's obviously also going to, after being top lane, be around this particular area. Of course, we'd know that if we hit the plant and kind of track where he is, but we haven't really had the visual confirmed, so that's what we call a slightly sneaky, slightly risky dragon snack. I don't want to kind of say, hey, best dragon take world, but sometimes a sneaky dragon's a good dragon. Still slightly concerned with a Nunu, where we know he kind of hits the plant and everything, so we see that. So we know he's topside, so we know he's sequencing down. The Rise is also in base. My only concern is the Nunu seeing me do this right now and he's just going to run at me with his Consume Smite? Is the Lux going to rotate as well? Just things I'm weighing in my head. Hey, Mr. Stabbins. But always a snack dragon is good. Not snap dragon, snack dragon. That's a great marketing thing. All right, so that's the freest gang I've ever seen. All right. Alright. I mean, you're just running at them, getting stunned anyway, and you're getting the kills, so that's always fun. Oh man, like this for me is huge. Now guys, what do you think? This missed cleanup kill, this outside in scuttle to top lane killing on the Jax, leaving the wave in the good place for the Jace to TP in. It's killing us, no? Absolutely killing us. I think if Jax runs away with this, we can take a lot of responsibility. Obviously top lane an issue, but yeah. Worth noting, I think. A little bit of a late level 6 here. Obviously now we want to go back to base with 1200. We see the snowball here, so while we're basing, look on maps, right? Put it here, especially with low targets, and put on here. Look around to see if there's anything that we need to react to within the proximity of where you're going back. So I'm going back on Raptors. If I need to cancel for something, I'll do it. So I'll just look at this. All right, getting ready to buy. Ah, he's low. Okay, cancel base, run in. Okay, I'm going back to base here. Oh, I could hold this wave, cancel, do this here. All right, I'm going back to base. The issue for me with the slow bot lane is the low elo syndrome. I don't think we can always predict and do much about this. I just did a coaching today with the Elise, got like 6 kills here, and the Kindred was just sequencing and optimizing and counter jungling and getting Herald. I'm like, it's fine. I mean, as long as you're taking what the map is giving you, he's gonna do the same thing, just less so. Kai'Sa goes in here, the flash is burned. We're hopefully watching this. This is the same thing as the Elise video earlier. You could always offer to kind of just giga push it out after a gank, just so that they can reset, but they're gonna troll, right? I understand you're balancing what should be done and what will lead my team to troll me. But either way, let him die. Top side, we're gonna go ahead and snack this neutral scuttle. All right, we're gonna pull out the Herald here. We saw the Nunu bot lane. Make sure you're tracking that CS as much as possible. Remember, 44 CS is full clear, scuttle, plus another clear. In this particular case, his sequencing was way off, so we're not really gonna get much information, but we'll see the blue buff here on him if he has it, and you can kind of track that stuff. No mid prior now. Watch the Nunu here. This is where I get a little bit nervous. But I will admit, I'm an enjoyer of sneaking these Heralds out of base directly. He's taking our Raptors. Nice ward, by the way. We see this. Can we 2v2 this? It has to be in your mind. The assessment has to be in your mind. Can we 2v2 this? Now we're running into the darkness where we know the Ryze and the Nunu are going to be. Whereas what would have been a better play is a farming jungler. I'm okay, like, the Nuna's gonna get cleanup kills. He's allowed to play the game. Your bot's gonna troll you. You can't always cancel your base and anticipate their idiocy. He doesn't know where you are. He just knows you took the Herald. So, Raptors, red Krugs. Raptors, red Krugs. Take all. Now, this is where getting your top laner ahead makes this play super fun, because if your top laner was ahead thanks to some cleanup ganks and some pressure, this is something we could actually dive viably without dying. You want to dive in gold? I do recommend you try it though. I want you guys to try diving. You're going to have to get used to it. It's important to look for diving waves. But I'd rather take his whole quadrant, potentially just gold infuse myself, if this is gold infusible. Otherwise, you can always reset. But I don't like the idea of chasing down to protect Raptors. Like, he's going to take your Raptors and Krugs. Red. You took your Krugs, whereas his Krugs are up. So I'd rather just equal and opposite that. Because we will farm faster than he will. And we're just running into the darkness. Now he's just gonna repeat gank this. Yeah. Nunu, see, that's why. Don't react to the Nunu. Don't react to the Elise. Don't react to the Rek'Sai that much. Pick the gank you want to react to, but don't react to every gank or like try and put out all the fires. You're not gonna work it. If all of this is gone now, all of this is gone, this will be gone. If this is gankable, great. Otherwise, you can always do the top blue side quadrant. You have time to use a Herald. You could also cut down and gank it afterwards, once the Nunu's left. He'd be going here with nothing, you know, and his treats are 22. So he'd been denied that quite heavily, and you'd be, what, 16? So I think this is a huge loss here. This reaction from the Herald to protect your Raptors. We're running down to the bottom lane for no particular purpose. We're falling back to our red because there's nothing else for us to do, only the red. He took our Raptors. And Nunu repeat ganked mid lane as expected. What's the one thing you can do against ganking junglers? Counter jungle, sequence, and farm. Hydrate. Now we give the Nunu Raptors. Potentially red, potentially Krugs. And we're wasting time on that Herald prep. There have been a lot of things, like +3 camps for use, plus 12 CS for use, minus 12 CS for him. And also, you see this ping here? This, I don't want to, like, again, I don't want to results base it, but if someone steps in your house with muddy shoes, what do you do afterwards? Clean it. If someone's been in my Raptors, and they don't know where I am other than I took Herald, I will take all of your shit on the top side. Then I will loot back. Top lane is diveable or infusible with just dropping the Herald for gold. If I'm a selfish jungler, I might do that. If I'm a Belveth, you're definitely doing that. Like, you're diving that sucky, you get in the reset, you get in the heal, you get in the fishies, you get in the Herald, you're busting down 5 plates, and then you're falling back to your blue side, unless dragon spawning, in which case you're resetting. In Udyr's case here, flex, yes or no? Alright, full back down to this. This guy go top lane, nothing for him up here, nothing for him up here. He goes into your jungle, nothing for him up here. Where is the farm, says the Nunu, as he rampages in his mind, thinking, I have 22 treats. Where is the Udyr? Udyr, meantime, is based, laughing KW. He's just sprinting bot lane like a crazy man. Man, bear, pig, diving bot lane again, using the Herald, going into his jungle, taking his Grump as the Nunu resets, not realizing he's down 2 levels. The Udyr again clubs him in the face and loses the Grump to consume smite, but it's fine. The ego is damaged from the Nunu. And now, of course, deep vision, fall back to this, loop back around to the dragon. You follow, right? It's fast, but the flow. And every time you try and chase another jungler down and follow their game plan, you end up doing base, crab, herald, mid lane, bot lane, thumb twisting, red buff, Krugs, all the way through here, walking through a ward, telegraphing where you're going. You see? So, not so good. Not so good. But this happens in Platinum too, by the way. It happens in Diamond too. Sometimes it happens in Master. Less so because junglers understand to play to their game plan. I do like the wolves into the Grump for the sequencing, obviously. I do feel like this Jax lane is something we could have easily put a pin in early, and now Jaxus is running away with it. Here's a Nunu, see? This would have happened. He's doing it. It's so predictable. His behavior. Red side, loop back, top lane, come into the jungle for counter jungling because he saw you going up. Takes your Raptors, gets stopped by the Annie, leaves, comes across mid lane, does the gank, goes to his right side, nothing's up. Looks top lane, nothing, goes into your jungle. It's predictable behavior. When you watch enough games, but it's predictable behavior. He's doing exactly it, just now there are camps, and now you're here. Instead of you being bot side with cash money spent and running, and he's running across your ward here. What do you do if this isn't diveable or you can't use it, your Herald or whatever? I see this as he goes in here. I'm like, all right. Chill. Or just use the Herald for gold. Use the Herald, scan, and get out. Get yourself some cash money. What's the Yi principle? What's the fundamental Mercy Yi principle? 9,000 gold by 14 minutes. Can any jungler do that? Technically, it's difficult, but you need to get some plays. But you also need to play selfishly and have high CSPM. So we're 71 to 63, which is great, but I feel like versus Nunu, we should be at like at least 25 CS up. Good kiting of the camp there. This Nunu is not using much of his IQ brain power. Jax is prior, your Jace is dead. We're going on the Nunu, no damage is done. Dark Harvest, Nunu full AP, so pay attention to the damage. Okay? So that's where you've lost most of your tempo in this game. That's what you guys are saying, right? How do I win when blah, 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 blah happens? Doesn't matter. 10 to 12, by 10 to 12, have you done the work to destroy the map, right? Have we done the work to control things? Now, what's fascinating here is that, why doesn't it show, I wish it would show 5 plates. Why is it not showing 5 plates? Is that a visual bug or did it never do that? Am I insane? It said 5 plates before, right? Pretty sure. I had to click to look, but anyway. Bring that back, please, right? When you have time, when your cinematic team is not working in overtime, producing high-quality cinematics. So we loop back around here. We know the Nunu saw us. A little bit of patience there. It's kind of comedy. He gets the flash, but why would you flash an Udyr? Ooh, that's a nice Annie stun. That's a nice Annie stun. Watch that, but of course now the damage from the... we want to wait for W. We want to wait. That's fine. Wait for your W. Wait for your W. Wait for your W. What do you mean they ain't working at all? Yeah. Well, I don't believe that. I love all the individual rioters, but whoever's in charge of that stuff, like, give your job to like 5 YouTubers, we'll split your salary 5 ways. And we'll just create a way better marketing strategy than whatever the hell that was. Yeah, so you want to in and out this perfectly as you did, detach, but you need your W to make that play. But again, alternatively, you've killed the Nunu, hell of a lot of damage, Rise is pushed out, we have this wave here, and he's full HP, I have a Herald. Drop that sucker. Forget the Rise, run back mid lane, you're not going to beat him unless you got W, you have to wait a few more seconds, 1 or 2 seconds, run back mid lane, drop the Herald, activation, we have a Dragon up. With Nunu dead, and Bob Prio. So, push, mid, Herald, leave it for the Annie, straight to Dragon. Good Dragon too. Your bot lane is primed to do it. Nunu's gonna be up in 5 seconds. You melt that sucker really, really easily. If Nunu, if you have freshly reset and you don't have a lot of cash money, like you have 2k, so it's a little bit risky, you can then stay out further and invade his blue and kill him. But now it becomes risky, right? You have to pay attention to the Annie's base, the Rise's base, the bot lane's base. That's a kind of like Smurf play when no one expects it, but someone with talents just like eating the wall, one-shotting you, and you're like, oh. So the extension play here is conditional. I think we can agree. Nice play, a lot of damage. Good job, Annie. Just run, activate, help her push the wave, take this with your bot lane. Worst case, we loop back around to this, and reset. With like what, 3.5, 5k? 3.5, 4k? So, now it's a lot more of a coin flip scenario, although I see it here. I see it here on the timeline. Ooh, that was a good W. Phoenix Udyr. Mechanically outplayed. Twitch just mechanically outplayed them. Herald usage, good. Rotation, good. Nice, I like this, I like this, I like this. Quick. Let's get to business. Rise shows up, that's unlucky. That's unlucky. Yeah, that's unlucky. But I like the idea. I like the idea. In theory, though, you could always stay, right? In theory, you could stay, try and coin flip it if you have smite, which you do. We just don't want to fight and die. It's kind of how much can you tank, how much can you snack, sneak it away. Obviously going to show bot lane here for some more plates, but yeah. I'd rather you be more reserved than die to the Rise. You got to watch bot lane's respawn timer as well. That was a good play on the dragon snack, but at the same time, I feel like could have avoided it a lot more. Sorry, avoided that play by doing a better play before. That pretty much puts me at 14-50 minutes, which is early game stuff. That's where we are now. Like where we come out of the game at this point determines how the mid to the late game goes. If we've done it perfectly, we're in a prime position to basically just steamroll, get into their jungle, 2-level leads, 3-level leads. You keep pushing into their jungle. Jax goes back top lane. Divine Sundra. Alright. Remember, you don't want to sit in a bush unless you've scanned it. You gotta watch the behaviors if they saw you at some point. I don't think we should wait that long. But again, concept, move into his jungle, right? If it blue, Wolves and Gromp are gonna be available and you get pushed out of it with Rise showing up, I'd anticipate he probably goes to the side. So, you know, what you can do here is just go boom, boom, boom. Again, like you're in, like Graves, think like Graves, right? Boom, 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 boom. In and out, in and out, in and out. Yeah, we want this sucker, but yeah. That's how you keep that lead going. Now imagine if you're level 11 and he's level 8, it's a different ball game, right? You should have the confidence to do that, which is our goal. If you get to this point 50 minutes and you're the same level as a gold jungler, you should be asking why. Why am I the same level as a gold jungler? I want to be better. Thank you so much for the 100 biddies, JJ Gonzalez 24, GOTKN. Hello, Jungle Brothers. Hello. No one's typing. I don't know if they're just focusing and listening, or it's like, this guy's an idiot. I would do way better. I know more. Don't play Udyr is the ultimate prevailing opinion. Well, this is typical. This is typical. We'll take this though. So yeah, I mean, at this point particularly, we kind of just run through like stereotypical pathings and practices because that kind of is consistent no matter what champion you're playing. You come out, now you got to make sure you collapse on the over pusher. Let's see this Jax here. Alright, through the, why would you go back in? Why would you go back in? He's got Counter-Strike active. He's going to stun you and auto-attack you. Why would you go back in? I mean, we get the shutdown. Oof, nice dodge, quick feed. We've got the E up. I mean, I feel like we should have just... tried to run to tower. I feel like we should have just tried to run to tower. So yeah, I mean, I don't really have much stuff for this kind of phase. I don't like discussing the coin flip nature of team fights. I feel like the coin flip nature of team fights in this elo should be dictated by the fact that you're 3k a gold ahead of everybody else. Always, 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 always. You know, like we respawn here, we run it down. We've got demonics now, which is great. We're gonna go into some, hopefully, Jack Show Gamings. Again, eyes. Like this trade was happening before we went back. So we could have easily looked to make this play. Phoenix Udyr, man. Like, what is this, champion? I don't think you live. I don't think you live, though. No, you don't live. Yeah. I mean, they're going to get the dragon from this, but let's have a look here. At this point in the game, you're down 3k gold maps, a bit of in a negative state. You don't have any outer turrets. For me, doing my own VOD review, I would say, okay, look, what are all the things that I could have done earlier in the game that gets me this? And I think we've discussed that. The equal and opposite moment, the opportunity to drop that herald earlier gets towers lower. So that when you do get 1 or 2 kills from having a better lead, you just punch this down, right? Now, if you're Phoenix, you punch it faster, but when, sorry, I was going to say Tiger too. I can't help it. I'm just, Wilding Claw. If you're Wilding Claw, then you can take it down a lot quicker, obviously. But at the very least, we want to be able to use that first herald and first 2 dragons to punch down some towers. If you're getting 2 heralds, 2 heralds, 2 dragons, maybe 3 dragons, and you have a CS lead, you have higher KP, but they have turrets and you don't, you know, it's still stuck. Yeah, but no, it's a bear. It's a bear, in my opinion. That's a bear. No? Only on spirit, only on the spirit skin, right? It's a tiger still, but like baseline, it's volley. It's nah, whatever. Who cares? Animalistic things. Design gap. When you spirit, you have tiger. Okay. Yeah. When you spirit, you have tiger. Yeah. But I meant like base skin and default. Yeah. See, like this second herald the second herald needs to bust down like an inner tier, like a tier 2. Like we're looking for like a giga push, right? So, Nunu overcommits into the stun from the Annie. He's getting flanked by the Ryzel, but Udyr says, don't worry guys, I'm going to interrupt him and stun him, and I'm going to keep using our W for the Giga Shields chasing. Another stun. Use the Phoenix, use the Phoenix, use the Phoenix. Hey Kaiser, do you want to kill? That was so nice of you. Good job, nice. See, now you would not, hypothetically, now we drop the Herald, right? Boof, that is just a huge push. Huge push, but because we didn't have any tier 1s, we had to kind of enforce this play because we wasted it early. Hey, good job, Yace. Good job, Yace. No, he's gonna die now, isn't he? I do like a sneaky Baron, though. I like this. I like this sneaky Baron. This is good. This is good in terms of like trying to bait this out. Now, unfortunately, Kaiser and Nami don't join us, but I had the Kindred coaching from earlier. Same thing. He went like BT at the end, which don't have strong feelings towards, but that does give you the lifesteal if you have Blade, it works as well, to take this early Baron. You just solo the sucker at some point. Even if your team isn't present, you can solo this on a lot of champions. So if your champion has sustain or a lot of damage and a lot of self-healing and shielding, and you can solo this, this isn't as difficult as people think, and I love kind of like if someone's drawing pressure unintentionally, snacking that sucker. So, unfortunately here we have to play it safe and slow. This will not be fast, but it is doable. I like this. This will win you a lot of games, no matter what happens early. This will win you a lot of games, no matter what happens early. So, yeah, there you go. I think from here, it looks like we clean our quadrants, and it should be standard stuff. Back to base. Push this out, a little bit of split pressure. We're looking at Twitch. Watch the collapse here. No one's showing on the map. No one's showing on the map, so we're a little overcommitted. We see the Twitch on the top line. I'm worried about being a bit blinded from behind here, but as long as we keep our eyes on the map, right? Eyes on the map the whole time. Have a look here to see this. They do the killings. We're shoving this now. Definitely assuming people are going to be rotating at some point. But that's nice. Now we can fall back and take their Grump, take their Wolves. We have the Scuttle. We can also join our team mid lane and shove another wave. So that's a nice little split push here. We're having a look. Nothing. Good. Clear that. Take this, kite it down. Find out. Rise out of position. Very good. Good macro. Udyrs can do this, and I expect this from most Udyrs to do this. And obviously you don't have to be the very evil Tiger Stunts. Now the Jack shows up. We're in a bush here. We're going to go for the Lux. Maybe a little bit too deep, but we have sustain. We're going to stun, reposition using the Phoenix, getting the slow. And he finishes off the work. Thank you, boy. Nuna's going in, avoid the damage if possible. We're getting that stun there. Nice kill again. Good front positioning of the body. Little risky on like the bush check. I don't think we need to overchase here, but hey. If you're Udyr, apparently it doesn't matter. I'm so used to playing champions that don't get away with that. But yeah, well done. If you're a weaker champion, like a normal human champion, make sure you just fall back dragon. Don't overchase afterwards because that's not so good. Fall back to the dragon. Really well done. Nanites, good job. Your early game, definitely. If you prime that early game from 1 to 15, Nanites, you're going to come out of this mid to late game even stronger. These things are going to happen even more, and the games will be done by 24 minutes. Like, you'll just be ending at this point. So, well done. Well done. Oh, look, another pick on the Jax, because while he does get damage reduction, he still gets stunned. Put your big, thick body in front of your team. Absorb all the damage. Well done. Good positioning. Tank the tower shots, that's right. That W is not a good ability. Like, that W is not healthy. I have issues with that W. Anybody else? 607 shield, 303 health. Yeah, there we go. What do you got to be careful of? Obviously, it's not overstaying. Coin flipping this. Once you've pushed this out, ideally we get this, but you know, you got 1500 and he has 1900. They're all up. You know, you could very easily just base and sprint over with cash money spent. It says here you lose the Baron, but you have Smite. So even though this is gonna go down for them, this should still be a mechanical Smite for you. You gotta get this. You can't remotely let them get that. Just make sure you're paying attention to that Smite. But because if you get that with the Smite, now you just end. You end anyway, but right, you follow. So just watch that HP, get that Smite. Well done. A good W, sir. Hopefully that early game stuff helps a little bit. And to start off for Season 13, I will be hosting another bootcamp with Coach Kybert for laners and junglers and for every single role. Topics on your screen now starts end of January 30th. Basically, we're going to be covering everything in this video in depth related to you, giving you some active examples, some drills, everything to make you a better League of Legends player as a whole, all through a really in-depth 2-week bootcamp from January 30th onward. And additionally, I will be raffling off a $400 coaching package to a lucky winner who subscribes in the first 100 tickets, which means a further 4 hours of coaching directly with me, all free for you after the bootcamp is finished. And overall, the bootcamp is just chocked full of absolute free coaching, free VOD reviews, Q&As. We have 10 different sessions for you from myself and Coach Kybert. We have other challenger coaches on call. Essentially, you're looking at something like 30 coaching sessions for the price of 1, all within a community hosted by Gosu Academy. So click the link in the description below, sign up, join the Discord, and I will see you all there to learn everything you need to know about Season 13 jungling and laning so that you can climb to your ranked goals and beyond.